we would like to have the youth leaders that are joining us to take the stage. There's an extraordinary announcement that's going to be made right now between the Wallace Global Fund, Alan Dorsey, and Spike Buckley and Earth's Call. So if you, I'd like to introduce Katie Eater here. Katie, she is the 19-year-old founder of something called Future Coalition, and Shea Batista, she is the 17-year-old founder of Fridays for the Future, and then Chutezkat Martinez, who you may recognize from his past appearances here. He's with the Earth Guardians, and I'd like to first maybe Alan and Spike, if you could stand and then just talk about a little about the vision of what you'd like to do. If this, why don't we just take your microphones off? I'm going to pass you a hand mic. That'd be great, so we don't trip anybody up here. Nobody falls off the stage. That would not be good. Okay. Okay. So Ellen, why don't you lead off?
Actually, I'm not going to say much because I think we have the opportunity to hear from these young leaders, and you don't need to hear from us. All I'm going to say is that our foundation is absolutely committed to supporting the success of these youth activists. And we are increasing our resources to support the climate strikers and to support the youth movements calling for Green New Deal divestment, etc. We need you to succeed where our generation failed. And I think it's absolutely crucial that everybody in this room support the strikers. It's not enough that your day job is in renewable energy. We are all activists now. Get in behind them and strike with them. Thank you.
I would obviously support wholeheartedly everything Ellen just said. And I would say that I was searching for a way to make the first grant from Earth's Call. We're brand new and we're basically getting our house in order right now. New board of directors, new this, new that, new executive director, the whole thing. So we're not really in a position to do what we will do henceforth, but this is something that came across my desk, as it were, very recently, and I couldn't help but be extremely excited about it, because I think if we have one element, one force that might be able to bring about change quicker than otherwise, I think it's the youth. It's the children of the people and the grandchildren of the people who have created the problem. And Ellen and I, the Wallace Global Fund and Earth's Call, want to support now and going forward the youth of the world as they rise up and confront the parents and the grandparents who have not given the current problems enough attention. That's why we're doing what we're doing, and I hope all of you will get behind this youth movement. Make it, if you will, please do what you can to help these people, these young people, change the world, because I believe they can do it. And here we have 3 extraordinary examples, and there are many more out there. These are leaders, and there are many behind them who are creating this wave. So please, please do whatever you can to help them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Spike. Thank you, Alan. Now, I'd like to hear from each of the youth leaders here, but I want to frame this in that right now we know that Greta Thunberg is on a ship, a sailboat, non-fossil fuel, coming across to America, coming to New York to be part of the climate strikes that will take place. I believe it's starting on the 20th. I'm going to let Shea kick it off here, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about your work in New York and then just go right down the line. Thank you.
So Katie and I are actually going to speak together, and I'm going to start introducing myself. Hi everyone, my name is Shea Bastida. I am a 17-year-old climate justice activist. I was born and raised in Mexico, and now I live in New York City, and I strike outside of the UN every Friday.
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Eater. I am 19. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I am the executive director of the Future Coalition. The Future Coalition is a network of youth-led organizations and youth organizers across the country. So we work to make sure that young people have the resources that they need to create the change they want to see in their communities. And right now we are working to help coordinate the national campaign around the September 20th climate strikes.
What's good, everybody? My name is Shiteska Tananti Martinez. My family's from Xochimilco, Mexico City. My mom's from here in the States. My mom founded the Earth Guardians movement back in 1992. We've been carrying the torch ever since then to build a platform worldwide for young people to be able to utilize our voice, our passion to create change, to create impact, and to really mobilize to rise with the tides, to match the urgency of the time we're in right now. Thank you.
So the climate crisis. We all know it's a problem, and I want to thank all of you because we all know that we're here to solve that and to reverse that. And it's particularly important for us because I have not only lived through it, but I know it's going to get worse for our future. Young people are 20% of the present, but we are 100% of the future, and I heard that yesterday, and it's true. So that's why we started striking, because strike is a last resort. Our civic duty is to go to school, and we're saying we're not going to go to school because how can you ask us to study for a future that will not be there? How are you asking us to study if you're not listening to the people who are educated, and that's all of you? And that's why we started striking. Greta Thunberg started striking on August 20th of last year. And on March 15th, we had our first global climate strike with 1.5 million students striking worldwide. On May 24th, we had our third global climate strike with 1.9 million students striking worldwide. And now, September 20th is special because we're asking adults to strike with us. This is a collective effort that won't be solved by only striking because we don't have the voting power. You do. But we all have the responsibility to be heard. We had the responsibility, we had the right to be heard, but now we have our responsibility to be heard. So now I'm gonna pass it to Katie.
So as she mentioned, we're really using September 20th as an opportunity to bring together the energy and the passion and the media spotlight that youth climate organizers have right now with the infrastructure and the foundation and the experience that so many adults, so many of you have been laying down in the climate movement for the last many decades. We're using September 20th as an opportunity to expand the table and to really look at it, not just as an endpoint of what's already been done, but as a launch for a new wave of the climate movement that's going to bring us closer to the solutions that we need to save our future. And we're doing that by uniting a broad coalition, youth-led organizations, adult-led organizations, institutional, grassroots, social justice, environmental. So many folks are coming together to make this day as large and as impactful as it possibly can be, because we are stronger together. And so it's going to take each of us to join together to make this day the launch of the climate movement we need.
And that is something very important. September 20th is not a goal, it's a catalyst for future action. It's a catalyst for the engagement of humanity in the protection of Mother Earth. It's a catalyst for the culmination of thousands of climate activists that won't stop fighting until the climate crisis is reversed. And I'm sure you've all heard about the 12 years that we have. And those 12 years have actually become 10 years and 5 months. We have 10 years and 5 months to halve our carbon emissions, to stay under the 1.5 degrees of warming. And for those who have heard 18 months, that is because we have 18 months to shift the political agenda in order to save our future. So I encourage all of you to use the voting power you have, and we promise that we are going to ask anyone who's 18 and older to do it, because they have to do it for themselves and they have to do it for us.
The message for September 20th is simple. We're scared. This is our future, and we're really scared, and that's why we're doing this. But we're not just striking out of fear. We're striking out of hope that something can be done. We're using September 20th as the invitation to say to everyone, young people and adults, individuals, elected officials, executives at companies, the message is simple. We are at a crossroads, and we have the option to choose between money and power, or to choose us, to choose the kids and to choose the future. And so our message for you is to join us in that. Join us, back us. As Shea said, the strikes today have been youth. And now it's the time for all of you to join in with us. And we need you, in whatever way you can, in whatever way you are able. We need each of us to join together and use our collective voice to demand change.
When I was 6 years old when I first got onto a stage in Boulder at the band show to talk about environmental and climate justice. And I would dream about moments like these when it would be me alongside other powerful, inspired, strong young leaders that are stepping up and really changing everything we thought we knew about what creating change could look like. I think our generation is an example of a new wave of this new step as humanity that we can take, that we deteriorate and destroy the barriers and the borders that have separated our movements, that have separated our communities, that have separated our organizations, to really understand that this is bigger than the climate crisis, this is bigger than politics, this is bigger than the environment. This is about the world and the future we are building together. This is about the collective responsibility that we all have to come together regardless of who we are as entrepreneurs, as doctors, as parents, as teachers, as innovators, as dreamers, as artists, to be a part of something much bigger than any one of us. And we are in an absolutely critical and beautiful moment. There is so much beauty in the moment that we are in right now. And for me to be up here like with these other young heroes is absolutely beautiful, and I really want you guys to know, and even though there's not a whole lot of young people like us in the audience, mad love to all the old people as well out here. Shouts out for you. Thank you for showing up. We need y'all as well. But there is a whole generation of young people like us that are ready, that have been ready to take this action to the next level, to really understand how do our voices, how does the way that we show up in the streets, in our courts, in our communities, in our schools, and out of our schools, how does that represent the future that we want to collectively create together? So I love what y'all said, that September 20th is a catalyst for the movement and for the momentum that we are building from here on out to draw the carbon out of the atmosphere, to cap CO2 emissions, to reverse the climate crisis. And it is gonna take each and every one of us. This is for our entire generation. This is for my little sister who's 11 years old, who's in this room today. This is for all the young people that we love, that we care about, that we know, and those that are yet to come. And I just couldn't be more honored and inspired and excited to be a part of a movement that is is powerful. And so the work that we're doing, Earth Guardians, in partnership with Fridays for Future, in partnership with Future Coalition, is gonna be the how do we continue building and propping up that back end by allowing people to engage and draw down, by building the platform for young people worldwide who don't have that community yet to be able to tap in and engage and using their voice, their passion to create the change that we know is possible.